set. Batting ninth and right field, number 7, Harada Nodoka. Position flex also in your left one, the flex position, pitcher number 23, Numa Sakura.
There's some folding chairs on the other side of the room.
62 counters, Studio Perez, number 13, Porto Blue. Number 21, Vivelo Yukiko. Number 22, Katsumata Izaki. Number 24, Ayatsuma Haruka. Number 25, Sumitani Haruka. Number 18, Kawamura Riza. Team Japan. DC Colorado, come on, première. Bonne show de centre, numéro 21. Batting first, center field, number 21, Mackenzie Wilson. Numéro 4, batting second base, number 4, Tala Edwards. Come on, troisième, bonne show de droite, numéro 3, batting third, playing right field, number 3, Kaylee Wyckoff. Quatrième joueur connu, numéro 5, batting fourth, and first base, number 20, Hannah Gamble. Cinquième joueur, troisième, numéro 13, batting fifth, and third base, number 13, Davina Coffey. Au sixième rang, one of the numéro 12, batting sixth, shortstop, number 12, Aaron Buffalo. Septième, bonne journée rouge, numéro 1, batting 7, right fielder, number 1, Jalen Lassiter. En huitième, receveur, numéro 14, batting 8, right fielder, number 14, Reese Atwood. Au deuxième rang, la joueuse désignée, numéro 3, batting right field, player number 3, Sarah Gordon. En position d'extenseur, numéro 8, in the flex position, pitcher number 8, Mariah Lopez. Number 22, Nikki McGaffin. Number 23, Carlin Pickens. Number 11, Kirsten Beal. Number 00, Jackie Liz. Number 28, Robin Hedgecott. Number 27, Haley Morrow. Triple Crown, Colorado. Les arbitres pour ce match numbers for this game. Au mound at home plate, James English. Au premier but at first base, Jonas Stevenson. Au deuxième at second base, Henry Schultz. Au troisième at third base, Ryan Weber. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez maintenant, s'il vous plaît, vous lever, retirer les chapeaux et casquettes pour l'interprétation des hymnes nationaux des États-Unis d'Amérique et du Japon. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your hats and caps for the national anthems of Japan and the United States of America. Avec les instants de présentation spéciale, a few moments, we'll have a special presentation. S'il vous plaît, accueillir le président de la Coupe Canada, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the Canada Cup, Mr. Brett Kim. Good evening, everyone. What an incredible 10 days. As we close the 2023 Canada Cup International Softball Championship, I think it's fair to say that we've enjoyed some of the greatest plays of softball. The players from 11 nations have wowed us and thrilled us all week long. We have experienced support this year like never before. Our gate attendance has surpassed all previous records, and the community support for Team Ukraine, our Pride Day celebrations, and all of our teams has been incredible. Our congratulations goes out to all 104 teams who participated in over 460 games here at the Canada Cup. You have made your countries and your member associations proud, both on and off the field. We would like to congratulate the winners in our youth divisions, our select showcase team, the Cloverdale Fury 07. The showcase gold winner, Fraser Valley Fusion 06. Our future select winner, the Seattle Spice. And the Futures Gold winner, the Chinese Taipei National Youth Team. I would like to acknowledge the many government officials and sports dignitaries who have joined us here throughout the 10 days of the tournament for their support of youth sports and softball. You have displayed how important this event and these athletes are to you. On behalf of the Tournament Organizing Committee, I would like to extend a special thank you to all of our incredible sponsors, namely to Save On Foods, Russell Brewing, Global Media, Black Press Media, and many, many other community partners. To our sport partners, the World Baseball and Softball Confederation, to Softball Canada and Softball British Columbia, thank you for your continued leadership in stewarding softball in this country. A special thank you to the City of Surrey for their ongoing support of this part and this tournament, for helping us to continue to establish Surrey as a place that values and embraces female youth sport. Thank you to our fantastic Parks and Rec crew for going above and beyond this week to prepare this field. You rock. I would like to make a special acknowledgement of the directors of the Canadian Amateur Sports Society, to Laura Valance, to Jackie Duggar, Todd Walker, and Roberto Perez-Leon. The hundreds of volunteer hours you put in and the continued leadership and vision you display speak positively of the future of the Canada Cup. A huge thank you to our 40 organizing host committee members and the 550 red shirt volunteers who have been working throughout the past year to prepare this tournament. And it is with amazement and gratitude that all of us watch what you have done all week long. You are remarkable. We would like to thank the staff here at the Canadian Amateur Sports Society and the Canada Cup. You have taken the vision and made it come alive. A special thank you to our Canada Cup Administrator and Coordinator, Carla Reid, who has gone far above and beyond the public read. Thank you also to Maria Winter, to Kim Proctor, to Nancy Lau, to Jamie Harding, to Jen Morris, Karina Araniva, and to Georgia Reed for all you've done. Amazing. We'd like to thank our boys in green, our grounds crew, for working around the clock to prepare the fields, clean the park, etc. They've been fantastic. And thank you to our good veteran staff who work beyond hours to do what they do. A huge thank you to Sheila's Catering, to Weston Brandt, and their excellent catering staff. Another group without whom this tournament would not have been possible is our umpiring team, the men and women who have officiated this tournament with fairness and integrity. Thank you. The 2023 Canada Cup softball tournament is run by a not-for-profit organization with one goal in mind, and that's to promote and encourage young athletes to become involved in this sport by showcasing the world's elite and by providing a spotlight on the up-and-coming stars of tomorrow. This year, our organization undertook a couple of significant initiatives. Firstly, with the help of the generosity of the people of this city, this province, and this country, we brought Ukraine, the under-19 national team, to participate in this tournament. And those young men and women and their coaches have won the hearts of Canadians. Please join me one more time in giving them a one-glass Canada Cup round of applause and wish them safe travels to their homeland. We're always Canada praise for experience the senseless war. We look forward and welcoming them back next year to the Canada Cup. We implemented this year the first ever Pride Day at our park and proudly flew the rainbow flag here on Diamond One throughout our tournament. We thank our partners at the Surrey Pride Society for their support of this initiative. This year we began our Super Kids program, which provides free multi-day camps and sports experience for at-risk, economically at-risk, or Indigenous children and youth. We are committed to providing a welcoming environment in which every child can experience and celebrate the unifying power of sport, regardless of their background. Our Canadian Amateur Sports Society firmly believes that sports have an incredible ability to bring people together, bridge gaps, and promote a better understanding amongst diverse communities. We hope to break down barriers and create opportunities for all deserving young individuals. Fundraising for this program will be an ongoing focus throughout the Canada Cup and at Softball City for years to come. Finally, we thank all of you, the fans, for supporting youth and women's softball throughout the duration of the tournament. You have been phenomenal. Today, we are pleased to announce that we have finalized the dates for the 2024 Canada Cup. We hope you will join us here at Softball City from June 28th to July 7th. The International Women's Tournament from July 1st to July 7th. Please join us next year, to the teams, the spectators, and everybody in the crowd. Now, let's enjoy our sporting spectacle, the 2023 Canada Cup International Softball Championship Women's Final between Team Japan and TC Colorado. Let's play ball.
Welcome to the championship game of the 2023 Canada Cup, which next year will be held between July 1st and July 7th. My name is Peter Lubardius alongside Amanda Fama. It's been our absolute pleasure to bring you the majority of this tournament. And Amanda, the two teams that looked very early on like they might be ahead of the class, and they're going to collide tonight for the third time. Japan and Triple Crown Colorado, who just downed your former team, Team Italy, to advance to the title game. So the question is this, and is the answer a perfect game to give yourself a true chance to beat a team that are the reigning Olympic gold medalists and have outscored their opponents here 73-5?
I think it is, Peter. There's really no other option. We did see Japan make a couple rare errors defensively, and that doesn't happen often. But they're that team that you can maybe have a chance to get a runner on, but then out of nowhere they just explode and become the Japan, the reigning Olympic gold medalist that we all know. And so to be perfect is what it takes to beat them. If they get on, you have to be perfect on defense. They have an amazing pitching staff that you have to be able to catch up to their balls, read the pitches. You have to be perfect physically, mentally, and every aspect.
Well, as was the case in a big playoff game in the winner's bracket yesterday, one of the games of the tournament, where Triple Crown Colorado knocked off Canada 2-1 in 8 innings. Dave King, the head coach and the head of Triple Crown Colorado that's brought this outstanding group of collegiate all-stars, he will give the ball to University of Utah star pitcher Mariah Lopez, who hails from Peoria, Arizona, and she will face Ayane Nakagawa, who leads things off, the center fielder. Japan's collective batting average as a team is .394. And Lopez had a superb year pitching the University of Utah to their first College Women's World Series since the year 2003. A changeup that Nakagawa fouls down the first base side. Nakagawa is 12 for 23, batting .522 with a double, a triple, a home run, and 5 runs batted in.
We talk about the importance of getting your leadoff runner on and how it sets the tone of the game. So this is big for Nakagawa to get on and be in a position for the rest of her team to be able to hit her in.
So far in this Canada Cup, Mariah Lopez pitched 8 2/3, has given up 2 runs on just 3 hits, struck out 8 and walked 4 as Nakagawa stays alive on the 1-2 pitch from Lopez. Triple Crown, Colorado and Japan have played twice in this event. Japan won the first meeting 7-0, and then yesterday evening in this time slot to determine our first finalist, Japan went to all 7 innings for the first time in the entire tournament. The final was 5-1.
And they're kind of picking away at Japan is what we saw. Japan beats them the first time. The second time they take them to 7 innings. And so really looking forward to this being a good game, seeing them for the third time.
A full count, and the game's first batter into the hole, and an excellent play. Over at second base. And that is Talon Edwards, who we've seen a lot in the outfield. Makes a sparkling play over at second to retire Nakagawa.
Colorado's defense at second has been, we say, closed down. You can't get a ball through. They've done extremely well over there. And Edwards does a great job making a great play to get that lead hit her out.
With a change of uniform, she's gone from a regular 44 to 4 to match her position, and Lopez pulls the string. She had 206 strikeouts this year at the University of Utah. Pitched 197.2 innings, 2/3, and a record of 23-7. And certainly, when you pitch in the College Women's World Series, as she did in late May into early June, you know about big games, lots of pressure.
Yeah, she's accustomed to this type of pressure. We've talked all week about what that does to a player and how they're able to overcome it. And is this the Women's College World Series? No, but this is Japan, and she's well aware of how to compose herself on the mound.
Wee Nakamizo is the batter. The starting shortstop, who has made a lot of plays look rather routine, that Amanda, as a national team shortstop for many years with Italy, knows are not routine. Splendid to watch, and Edwards is busy again. This time, an easier play, a line out, and exactly the start so far that Triple Crown Colorado wanted to this game. Japan's second base player is Kanakudo. A star in the making. And she's had a marvelous week here. She's 10 for 26. She leads Japan with 11 runs batted in and takes a high strike. Japan has really never been under any duress at all. And when you outscore somebody 73-5, but some of their games haven't always told the story. And a great beginning for Mariah Lopez and Triple Crown Colorado. It's a 1-2-3, top of the first, against the reigning Olympic gold medalists and softball powerhouse, Japan. Good crowd for this championship final. It's not every day that Japan comes to Canada and you have an opportunity to watch a softball superpower. Have not been here at the Canada Cup since the 2017 version of the event back this year, and have shown why they are, in some respects, unlike any other. And they will give the ball to the pitcher who has worked more innings here in their 4-player staff, Sakura Miwa, 19 and 2/3 innings. She's given up just 2 runs, 19 hits, struck out 18, and walked only one. And Miwa, I know that you have had a little contact with the starting pitcher.
And that was a treat on its own. We've exchanged some messages here and there, and what I loved was that she's excited to be here and represent Japan, of course, but she started playing softball because she idolized the one and only Ueno. And here she is, so excited to be playing with her as a teammate, and that's a full circle pretty much for her. And so there's, of course, competition, I'm sure, behind all this, but just an experience of her to be able to play with her idol of Ueno while Ueno's still actively playing.
Yes, she is on this roster. We've not seen a lot of her. The 40-year-old superstar has pitched only 4 innings here at the Canada Cup. It'll be interesting to see if she is first up in relief of Miwa, who has pitched 1 2/3 innings in the 2 meetings of these 2 teams. And Minori Naito walks the tightrope to retire center fielder Mackenzie Wilson. And haven't had a chance to dig into this yet, Amanda, but Dave King has very much changed his batting order from what we've become accustomed to, moving Wilson and second base player in this game, Talon Edwards, into the 1 and 2 spots. We've seen Danica Coffey and Aaron Koffel there almost all week, but not tonight, as Edwards is well out in front of the change with the rise motion on it from Sakura Miwa.
And that just shows us that Dave King has brought a great group of girls here, but there's strategy behind it, and he's here to win.
Edwards has been hitting better and better. She's up to 6 for 24 in the tournament, batting .250, has a couple of doubles and up to 6 runs batted in, and had a couple of key RBI in the big win earlier this afternoon over Team Italy. Italy down Canada in the first game of the day, and then looked like they kind of ran out of even emotional gas after beating Canada for the first time internationally, certainly in their last 4 meetings. And Edwards slaps her bat.
And on that rise ball, I can see this, not the spin rate, but you can see how tight the spin of that pitch is, and makes that really deceiving for a batter chasing up in the zone.
And goes upstairs with a little more velocity. When you have a chance to watch a powerhouse team call the majority of their games from this great vantage point, you're close enough to understand that it's not just a drop or a change, but all the different speeds, movement. And I mentioned in the top half of the inning the brilliance of Wee Nakamizo and how much fun she's been to watch when she's played shortstop.
Just how quick they release the ball and transfer it out of their glove is really amazing, and shows how they excel in this sport. It's so fast.
2 down, bringing up Kaylee Wickoff. And turned on that inside pitch and almost drove it, and maybe did, right into the Japanese dugout. Is the Triple Crown Colorado assistant coach having a little fun over there. Knowing Japan, somebody would have fielded it, tossed it to first, and the inning. Discipline, execution, work, excellence. Those are the words I think about when it comes to Japanese women's softball at this level, the highest level. This is their national team. They are in preparation for the upcoming World Cup stage qualifier that begins next Saturday in Butrios, Italy. And they will be joined by Italy and Team Canada, all of them having an opportunity to play against one another here in preparation this week, which is produced as a result of the importance of that event. Interesting lineup decisions, pitching decisions, and you understand why. And Miwa pulls the string. Wyckoff not buying on that changeup. She's 19 years of old. From Katy, Texas is Kaylee Wyckoff. Just completed an outstanding first year at Texas Tech with the Red Raiders, where she hit .393, popped in the air. Kanakudo! Terrific play to end the first.
Watch how she switches her feet. She starts a drop step to the right, switches her hips, her feet. Superb athleticism to be able to catch a ball in a potential blooper area.
Kudo to her. No score after one in the championship final of the Canada Cup. The game within the game already. Mariah Lopez, 3 up, 3 down, and already a pitching change, and she threw 3 2/3 innings in the earlier game today versus Italy. Gave up no runs, 3 hits, walked 1, and did not strike anybody out. It's Port St. Lucie, Florida's Cassidy Kurd, who goes up against Hoturo Tsukamoto, the Japanese left fielder, who has 9 runs batted in, 7 hits, and she makes them count. Change up from Kurd, who's coming off a sensational first year at Duke University. Pitched them into the Super Regionals in the NCAA Division I tournament. Just missed qualifying for the College Women's World Series. They lost to Stanford in 2 games. Tsukamoto, 7 for 18, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and the aforementioned 9 runs batted in. She's 5 for her last 9.
And both Kurd and Lopez, Kurd just pitching a few pitches in this inning, these changeups have been a struggle for Team Japan in these 4 hitters, and that's not usual for them. So I'm wondering if interested to see how often they throw that changeup and how quickly Japan can adjust to that.
Interesting to note that on the lineup card, Kurd's name was first and then crossed out in place of Lopez, who started 3 up, 3 down, and here's Kurd. Change up, Mackenzie Wilson, and Tsukamoto makes the first out of the top of the second.
It makes you just want to go down there and ask Dave King, Coach, what is your strategy? Just tell me.
Well, if you want to leave the booth and think that you can pull that off, and knowing you and your charm, it's a possibility.
Well, I see he's talking, I think, to Coach Mike Condrea, who's part of the Team Italy softball staff. So I'll be back.
The batter is Hitomi Kawabata. Kawabata, 12 for 21. I was actually somewhat kidding, but if she can literally go find out the strategy, I'm not going to say no. Amanda has left the booth. Not the building, just the booth. As Kawabata back to the screen. Hitomi batting .571 in the tournament for Japan. 4 doubles, a home run, and 8 runs batted in, and red hot. 6 for her last 8 going into this championship final. Facing Cassidy Curd, and a good rip at that 1-2 pitch, and sent it straight back. Kawabata, an Olympic gold medalist, also played here in the 2017 Canada Cup, the 2016 Women's World Championship. So it is not her first time to this spectacular facility in Surrey, known as Softball City, if you happen to be joining us just for the first time. The 2-2 on its way, popped in the air. Danica Coffey over and just off the screen. As the star out of Richwood, Texas, who had 4 hits in the big win over Italy in the game that propelled them into this title affair, ran out of real estate. And this is a good at-bat, as she's had so many from Kawabata. The change just misses, and the count runs full. The Olympic gold medalist trying to provide Japan with her first hit of this championship affair. And the matchup continues. And I'm not sure if our incredible camera woman can find Amanda, but she is literally nestled beside Dave King, the head coach of Triple Crown Colorado. She said she was leaving to learn about strategy. And Curd is going to win the battle as catcher Reese Atwood out of Sandia, Texas. They have a little laugh. Well, you can laugh when the ball ends up in your glove. Popped high in the air. That's a terrific pitcher versus batter battle. And Cassidy Curd comes in and retires the first 2 Japanese hitters that she faces. Minori Naito, the batter. Another Olympic gold medalist, 2018 World Championship participant. She plays for Bic Camera in the Japanese Diamond League, which is their terrific professional league back in their home. Hit a home run earlier this week, and they had a camera celebration, which I'm going to guess had a lot to do with her playing for Bic Camera. Kanakudo also playing for Bic Camera. They are one of the elite teams. Naito takes 2 balls and a strike. She's 5 for 16 in the Canada Cup, with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Minori Naito was 8 for 15 in a silver medal winning performance at the World Games last summer, where Japan lost the gold medal game to the United States. So had a huge tournament in Alabama and having a good one here. Amanda has returned. That might be a moment in my almost 4-decade-long broadcast career that I will never forget.
What was it?
When you said you were going to leave looking for strategy in the middle of a championship game, and I somewhat suggested it, it was almost a bit of a joke.
Well,
And you took off your headset. It is one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and I'm not even being remotely sarcastic. That was absolutely unbelievable. And
look at that fire.
And Cassidy Curd showing why she's a young sensation at Duke University and here at the Canada Cup. We're going to get to your fine work when we continue in this championship final at the Canada Cup at Softball City. All right, crack reporter. You did. You raced down. We saw Coach David King start Lopez, come back with Curd. Did you find a pitching strategy answer in your great little visit?
It was a successful, unsuccessful trip, but I did get something, and he didn't lead into too much for pitching, except for he's going to present this strategy that he thinks Japan has never seen. Japan is Japan. They've faced everything. They know how to defend everything. So he's going to throw something at them that hopefully they've never seen. And I said, can you just tell me and I won't say anything because I'm so curious? And he winked at me and said, you'll just have to wait to see. And wait. Not too many chances, not too many opportunities do you get to play Japan. And this is all I can think of to try and beat them. And then kind of the same approach with the offensive lineup, switching it up. I think in his mind he knew he was going to lead up to that.
Danica Coffey after Hannah Gamble, who's really delivered some big hits. If I am ESPN, I might hire you in the morning. You have no idea the kind of courage and what you just did.
I've been annoying a lot of coaches out here, whether they know me or not. And so when I was down there, he kind of laughed and said, I was expecting it. But it's great that he does that. He's thinking outside of the box for his team. And the best part of that answer that he gave me was, not too often do you get to play Japan. So he is making a decision to give these girls an opportunity. He's done this multiple times. He knows softball. Hey, if he throws one pitcher an inning, maybe Japan has never seen that, and that can throw them off, and they can possibly hold Japan.
Great work.
I like
and
it.
I mean that in all sincerity. And I would tell you if that was not the case. In fact, we're going to continue to call the game, but you just gave me an awesome idea for what we might bring to the broadcast if indeed it occurs again and you'll put up with me for 7 more days in a row, which isn't always the easiest thing to do. Is a great running catch by Tsukamoto and right, retired Danica Coffey, and then the pop-up by Aaron Koffel. And mentioned tonight, Coffey and Koffel are in the 5 and 6 spots in the order. They've been in the number 1 and 2 spots literally in every game. So we were upstairs as interested in that as even that early pitching change from Lopez. And I agree. Why not try something, not necessarily out of the box, but one of the reasons is that Mackenzie Wilson and Talon Edwards have hit the ball very well today and yesterday. So he's changed things up.
Well, exactly. As we're able to kind of dig into this a little more because we're up here, Wilson, Edwards, Gamble, all of them have been getting on. They've been hitting the ball. So Coffey and Koffel lower in the lineup, who are 4 for 4 in games, 4 for 5. They're producing runs at the top of the lineup. So put them a little lower, have those Wilson, Edwards girls get on, and then Koffel and Coffey hit them in. It's a great strategy if this is what he's going for.
Ouch. That went off the helmet of Jalia Lassiter, who's in left field to start the game. And she seems to be okay. Is 2 batters hit, Amanda, in the inning by Sakura Miwa.
And so now you think if your strategy is switching the lineup, throwing something at Japan they've never seen, and one of your top pitchers, Miwa, has hit 2 players, she's not throwing very well. There's a lot of balls, a lot of rise balls that the catchers are having to jump for. She's not on right now. They've got 2 runners on, 2 outs, but they might be able to squeeze a run out of Japan.
Nakamizo avoids Hannah Gamble, who did everything in her power to obstruct without literally obstructing. And Nakamizo said, I'm okay with it. Well, this is awesome. Great game, great start, great insight, good storylines. What a way to end the Canada Cup, and we are off to 0-0 after 2. Hope you're enjoying it. No matter where you're looking on, we're in Softball City. 2 innings in the books and another pitching change. 3 innings in a row for Dave King, who's going to give the Japanese everything they can handle. He's going to, the sink is gone, the cupboards are going to get cut up. He's throwing everything at them, and it's fantastic. They have outscored their opponents here 73-5. And here we are at 0-0 with University of Oklahoma budding star Kirsten Deal on to pitch. To the designated player, Kyoko Ishikawa lays down a bunt, and the out is achieved as Gamble does a nice job reaching to haul that toss in for out number 1.
Again, for a lefty pitcher to come off the mound, bounce off the mound, have a blind throw. Most of the time it ends up like that, but when you have an excellent first baseman, you're able to grab that and seal the out.
Catcher Yume Karishi.
And I think let's talk about for 1 second why, if Coach Dave King of TC Colorado, if he is switching pitchers every inning, why that's a good decision or a different decision is Japan players aren't going to be able to get in a rhythm, get timing, and get a second look at a pitcher where they've already faced and learned from their mistakes. Each time they're facing someone new and they have to adjust on the spot.
The games within the games. On Championship Sunday at the Canada Cup. The powerhouse, the heavy favorite, the reigning Olympic gold medalist against a team playing them for the 3rd time. 7-2 is their record, and they have more than handled their business here and established that they have been the number 2 team in the tournament. And they are in the final. David King's program came here last year, for those of you just tuning in, beat the United States national team twice here before losing in the championship final. Now they're trying to reverse the script. A high pop-up.
When you think about it, too, and maybe Dave is thinking this way, is these are elite athletes on TC Colorado, or they're very good college athletes playing against the world's best. But what do they have to lose? Everyone, I'll say it, everyone in the stadium thinks Japan is going to win this game. So if you lose this game, nothing to lose by switching up your lineup. They did a great job, great tournament. But if they pull this off, if they get 1 or 2 runs across the board, that's phenomenal.
Veteran Nodoka Harada, 6 for 18 at last summer's World Games, another Olympic gold medalist. She played here the last time Japan made an appearance at the Canada Cup in 2017. A high fly ball. Wickoff calls off Edwards. The trio of 3 Triple Crown Colorado pitchers have faced the minimum 9 batters. We have got ourselves a final, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. And what better a time, and what a beautiful night for it. Softball City in the final of the Canada Cup. Bottom of the third. Still looking for the first run in this championship final. Favored Japan 9-0 through 7 straight in the round robin. Wins over Italy and then Triple Crown Colorado to advance to the title game. And they have yet to have a base runner and have scored 73 times. Batted .394 coming in as a team. And Triple Crown Colorado, a long way to go, as Sarah Gordon, who has really impressed me in this tournament, leads things off. She was on base in the game against Italy 4 consecutive times, twice by hits, and Miwa maybe with her best drop of this game. She is yet to really settle in. She has yet to give up a hit. The 2 Triple Crown Colorado base runners were both hit by pitches by Sakura Miwa. And the count goes full to 19-year-old Sarah Gordon, who just batted .379 at the University of Louisville for the Cardinal. And stays with a tough changeup with... And Amanda has really keyed me into this week with the spin and how the ball moves.
And with that spin, again, the ball, it appears like it's going faster, but it's really slow. And so your timing is so far off. And we see that happen again here with Sarah, and she's doing well hanging in there because, again, with different pitches and the way the ball is spitting, the rotation of it, the ball is either breaking up, breaking down, breaking left, breaking right, or both at the same time. So the spin and the spin rate is so important. We see Japan do that so well.
Gordon a good at-bat, but Naito is going to take care of it and does not put a Zoe Hicks tag on. I love the Canadian first base player who almost plays the game like a football linebacker. She's so intense. Zoe Hicks in Canada, losing earlier today in the first of 3 playoff games to Italy. And then Triple Crown Colorado turned a 2-0 game into 4, and then they exploded as Italy had a very emotional win against Canada. It may have been their first ever in international competition. I know that they had lost the last 3, including a game here earlier this week. So it was evident, and they were very dialed in, and they will meet a week from today at that World Cup stage qualifier. Is to the top of the order. And Mackenzie Wilson, the center fielder, just completed her junior season at Baylor and is most certainly heated up at home plate as this tournament has gone along. Hit .326 at Baylor. In 2022, she batted .424 and was an all Big 12 conference player in the calendar year 2022, trying to deliver the first hit or, if nothing else, get on base. Bottom of the third, no hits, no runs. 2 Triple Crown Colorado runners have been left. And another good at-bat. These teams have already met twice. Japan winning both, 7-0. in a showdown of teams at that time in the round robin who were 5-0, and then last night in the game that helped to set this one up. And Miwa drop outside, swung on and missed. And if I have scored this game correctly, it might be her first strikeout of the night.
I think it is, and that's telling you something about these TC Colorado hitters and how well they're doing.
Talon Edwards grounded out to shortstop Lee Nakamizo in the bottom of the first inning. Talon is from Moore, Oklahoma. Her mother played college softball at Oklahoma Baptist. Sister Trinity played college softball at Missouri, Texas, and San Jose State, and has a brother that played baseball at Murray State. So it's a very athletic family. She's from Moore, Oklahoma. Routine. Tsukamoto. 3 innings in the books. No score. Japan and Triple Crown Colorado in the final of the 2023 Canada Cup. A fourth inning, a fourth different Triple Crown Colorado pitcher. It's Courtney Coppersmith's turn in her second consecutive Canada Cup. Part of the team that lost in the final last year, 5-1 to the United States. She's pitched 9 1/3. 2 1/3 of it came earlier today when she gave up no runs, no hits, struck out 3 and walked 3 in the big win over Team Italy. Facing the top of the order, and Ayani Nakagawa. Nakagawa grounded out. A terrific play, and I think in some ways, Amanda, set the tone when Edwards went into the hole to rob Nakagawa on the first at-bat of this game.
Yeah, that tells you what TC Colorado is here for. They're here to win. They're sacrificing their body. We've talked about them still having college careers, but they're out here making great plays and defending it from the get-go, and that absolutely sets the tone of this game.
Nakagawa plays for Shining Vega in the Japanese Diamond League. She very impressive, as she has been here at the Asia Cup Championship earlier this year. She batted .412 there with 5 home runs, 12 runs batted in. And the first runner of the game for Japan is aboard on a leadoff walk, as Coppersmith comes in and walks Ayani Nakagawa. Shortstop Wee Nakamizo grounded back to pitcher Mariah Lopez. Drops a great bunt. Danica Coffey. Strong throw to get the speedy Nakamizo, who's a relative newcomer to the national team. The only statistics that I could find in recent years for her with a national program was when she went 0 for 4 in last August 3-game Japan-USA series, which will happen again this coming August. Kanakudo, she made a superb defensive play early in the game. Flew out to center fielder Mackenzie Wilson in the first. Kudo is 10 for 27 now in the tournament.
And she had some good contact off that first at bat and off Lopez. So she could be feeling good making an adjustment. But Dave King throws in his own type of lefty soup, I would say, and has 3 other pitchers.
High in the air. Has a chance. It is gone. Kanakudo. A 2-run shot. And Japan strikes first on Kudo's 3rd home run of the Canada Cup. And it carried well. Wind blowing out that way. Got it up in the air. And make it runs batted in 12 and 13 of the tournament for Kanakudo. And as they have done so often, I mentioned the .394 team batting average. Let me throw this one at you. With runners in scoring position in this tournament, they have now improved as a team from what going in was .440 with runners in scoring position.
And that's an important statistic because if you have runners on, how capable is the rest of your roster able to get those runs in? We see plenty of runners left on base, and you really need to have timely hitting to be able to get them in. So what does Japan do? They get them in when they need it the most.
The first hit of the game is a 2-run home run. Kanakudo. Special player. Nice changeup from Copper Smith, who had a lot of strikeouts in 4 years at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. A high pitch driven, just foul. That was almost over Tsukamoto's head and still almost doubled down the line.
And every time I watch Tsukamoto hit, as I would say someone playing and growing up in the United States, we're taught to keep our inside, our front side closed, and she just really opens it up, and we see it here again.
And just missed another extra base hit as she turned on the hand so quick. Still flying, like you said, a little open, but...
And that's great, that to be able to do that on an inside pitch to give you some more space for your hands to get through is excellent, but can she hit that outside pitch?
Well, they just gave her one. Edwards. And the out made is Edwards, who has primarily been found in the outfield all tournament until this game and shows her athletic ability. The Oklahoma State University standout. And there are 2 away now. Is another they're all dangerous. Hitomi Kawabata over at third. 2 out after the 2-run homer by Kanakudo has opened the scoring. Kawabata fights it off. Now 6 for her last 9, 12 for 22, 4 doubles, a home run, and 8 runs batted in. Was 2 for 3 last night with a double in the playoff win over Triple Crown Colorado, but goes down with a strikeout. A 2-run shot off the bat of Kanakudo. And Japan strikes first in the championship final of the 2023 Canada Cup Softball Tournament. Brought to you by the fine folks at Softball Premier TV. Japan on the board, courtesy of Kanakudo. As Sakuramiwa continues to work. She has yet to give up a hit. She's hit 2 batters. Facing Kaylee Wickoff. Playing in right field. This will test Kudo. And it will be scored an error. And exactly what Triple Crown Colorado was looking for. A leadoff batter aboard after giving up the 2-run shot.
And we did see a few defensive errors from Japan the last time these teams played. And so, common but very uncommon to see that from a Japan player.
Hannah Gamble is yet to unload a home run. She had 3 of them in last year's Canada Cup. Her biggest hit of the tournament, arguably, came in the bottom of the 8th, trailing Canada 1-0 in their first playoff game yesterday afternoon. And with the bases loaded, she delivered a 2-run game-winning single and had no runs batted in, had 8 hits in the tournament prior to that hit, and then delivered again earlier today. Against Italy. From Beebe, Arkansas. And she will play the Japanese again this summer. She is off, along with Erin Koffel, to the Japan-USA series in August. So she's going to get another crack. She'd love to crack this and tie the game. 11 for 22 is Hannah Gamble. Driven in 3. A couple of doubles yet to go deep. Change up and a gem. Gamble was way out in front.
And it's big for TC Colorado to be able to do something in this inning. You don't get many runners on against Japan, so if they're able to do something here, this might be their only opportunity.
Danica Coffey flew out to Tsukamoto in foul ground. Her first at-bat. She's had a brilliant week. Danica Coffey is 16 for 29. Had 4 hits in the 10-run explosion versus Italy earlier today. After being red hot, cooled off for a little while, and then dynamite earlier today. Looking for first hit against Japan. She's a collective 0 for 6 now. The star at LSU, who hit .392 there this season. She's from Richwood, Texas. On the ground, Miwa for 1. A breakup slide by Kaylee Wickoff does not allow Kudo to make the turn, and frankly, Coffey runs too well to double her off, maybe ever.
And with Coffey up, again, being a hitter that can slap, bunt the ball, I was watching Japan's defense, and the communication between the shortstop and the second baseman, they were covering second base for a steal according to where the pitch was. So with Coffey being a left-handed hitter, if the pitch was an outside pitch for her, the second baseman would be covering the bag, again, leaving more time and nothing extra to worry about for the Japanese shortstop. And then vice versa. If it was an inside pitch, the shortstop was covering the bag. And so that's a great strategy, giving way and giving more opportunity for the shortstop to focus on the hitter.
A running attempt. Coffey is thrown out by Yume Karishi. Coffey out trying to steal. And Japan out in front 2-0 in what's been a dynamite first 4 innings of this championship final at the Canada Cup. Inning number 5. Guess what we have, Amanda? We have the 5th pitcher for Triple Crown Colorado. And the pitcher is a right-hander out of Weaverville, North Carolina. Played at the University of Tennessee. Went 9-7 in her 87 1/3. Pitched at the College World Series. Was the 2023 SEC Freshwoman of the Year at that school. And in that is a great softball conference, the SEC. Here she's pitched 12 innings, given up 7 runs on 10 hits. 5 of those runs coming against Japan in 3 innings of work versus the Japanese. Minori Naito and Jalia Lassiter over to make the play in foul territory for the first out.
Well, I really like this strategy that Coach Dave King of TC Colorado is going at, because how often do teams score in the first inning? It's very difficult because your team has to get used to the pitcher. So now he's got 7 pitchers, and essentially they all just have to throw 3 outs. A no-hitter, if possible, for 1 inning. I'm liking his strategy.
Well, Pickens dealing with Kyoko Ishikawa, the designated player. And a very fine fielding infielder when she is either at shortstop or third. 7 for 22 now after grounding back. Hard to remember already the pitcher of record as we go inning by inning. We've seen 5. They carried 7. But they don't have 7 here anymore, because I was told before the game that Jessica Mullins is no longer here. We did see her pitch very early in the tournament, but I was told that the Texas State star, this forces Koffel to back up. And the great speed of Kyoko Ishikawa gave Aaron Koffel no chance.
And what makes that a difficult play is that hop. If she charges that hop, it's going to be one of those bounces that might eat her up, or she might bobble. So she takes that step back to try and read the ball. But what's difficult in that decision is you have a fast Japanese runner out of the box, and they get there faster than you can throw that ball.
Catcher Yume Karishi, 5 for 14 after she popped out to second base player Talon Edwards. See if the Japanese have anything on. Coaching at third all tournament has been legendary player, now coach, Eri Yamada. She has a couple of gold medals to her credit at the Olympic Games. She was a sensational player. Great pitch by Pickens. In on the hands, just under the hands, in the inside corner. Tough to hit for a right-handed hitter against a righty, and she went right down that pathway again. Didn't get the call this time, and issues a 1-out walk and another runner in scoring position. They only have had 1 there tonight, and bang went Kudo's home run in the last inning to make it 2-0, her 3rd home run of the tournament. And this is fascinating because Pickens really would love that inside pitch, and right now it's been as close as you can get. And Dave King is coming out because he can sense some frustration, I'm guessing, with Pickens in this spot. She felt like she's maybe had 2 more strikes than she has been rewarded with.
And he's just out there to cool her down, give her a second. Let her kind of get that out of her head, the frustration. And then get back to it. She's throwing well. She's painting the corners. Maybe not getting the call she wants. So good job breaking that up from the coach, and he's been doing really well with these girls. They've been laughing and smiling, and they're having a great time out there.
Nodoka Harada, one of the 30-year-olds on the team. Veteran. Flew out to Kaylee Wickoff and right. Went around. A rare time you see that kind of reaction. 2 balls and a strike. Runners at first and second. 1 out. And Pickens almost clipped Nodoka Harada. She is not straying away from her plan and the coaching plan of staying inside to this longtime veteran hitter. And that might have been velocity-wise. That one had to be in that 70-mile-an-hour neighborhood. It had giddy up on it. From the pride of Weaverville, North Carolina, Carlin Pickens. And Harada stays alive on the payoff pitch. Critical spot in the game right here. Top of the 5th. 2 runners on, and a team that is just feasted with runners in scoring position. At 4:42 now in the tournament, that's the team average with runners in scoring position. And the walk to Nodoka Harada, and the bases are loaded for Ayane Nakagawa. Walked and scored on the Kanakudo 2-run homer in the 4th that has opened the scoring in this championship final. Gets away from Reese Atwood. And Japan takes a 3-0 advantage.
And just not able to get it in the middle of her chest or get around it, as they say, getting their hips around the ball and really letting it hit off your chest, and you kind of bounce it back into the ground. And this is when things can start to unravel for TC Colorado with those little errors when you're playing a team like Japan. You don't want them to get in a rhythm of any sort, or again, give them any way to score.
Up the middle, it's going to cash in another run. Another player driven in scoring position. This time, it's a ground out, but an RBI ground out, courtesy of Ayane Nakagawa. And Japan with 2 more in the 5th.
Japan just capitalizes on any given opportunity. You hit one of them, they're most likely going to score with that runner. You walk one, someone hits it out of the park, and it's a 2-run home run. You miss a pass ball, that's a little bit of momentum that you give Team Japan, and then they just fly away with it.
They're like surgeons.
How so?
They have a plan, and they just go about their business surgically.
It's precision,
And nice block by Atwood, the young catcher out of Texas. As a wild pitch has already allowed one of the 2 runs to score. And Carlin Pickens, hard not to be frustrated when, again, you've mentioned it. Every time you play this team, you feel like it has to be perfect, and she threw a great drop on what could have been ball 4. Strikes out Wee Nakamizo. 2 more Japanese runs. And now they're in the driver's seat. And when they're in the driver's seat, a lot of times the pedal goes to the metal. Triple Colorado in a very key 5th inning when we return to Softball City. It has been a week of smiles here in Softball City. Surrey, where the hundreds of volunteers, committee members, grounds crew, catering, President, Chairman Greg Tim, who put this event and headed it up for a long time and has done another terrific job. He went through before this game, if you tuned in, thanked everyone, and we want to thank everyone for making this a great experience. I don't throw this around lightly as a longtime veteran broadcaster, but this really is a world-class event and experience as Aaron Koffel pops it up on that spin, and Sakura Miwa saving her best for last is the legend Yukiko Ueno is warming up, soon to be 41. Will she be asked to close this out?
I think a lot of people are hoping that that answer is yes, for many reasons. Is this the only opportunity you get to see one of the best pitch?
On the ground, Lassiter, Kudo. And Miwa is working on a no-no. Has not given up a hit. There's been 2 Triple Crown base runners. They both came back in the bottom of the second when she hit Hannah Gamble and Aaron Koffel with pitches. Reese Atwood. She has a great future in this sport. Tall, athletic catcher with a great bat. One of the best first-year players in the NCAA at the University of Texas under the guidance of former men's great pitcher Michael White from New Zealand, who pitched the United States to the 1988 World Men's title in Saskatoon. You could learn a lot about pitching from Michael White. I would think that would be a bit of a recruiting tool at that school, where he's done a really, really good job. They made it to the College World Series final, not this year. They didn't make it to the tournament this year, but they did a year ago, losing to, who else? Oklahoma, 3-time champions.
seen a lot of national teams, including Team Italy, recruit male softball players, pitchers, to come do batting practice for them. And it's very different and really incredible how fast they can get the ball to come at you and the movement that they can get on the ball.
Well, in the men's game, they throw from 46 feet. It's 43. Atwood leans into it, and it's off the glove of Tsukamoto. And Triple Crown Colorado as their first hit. It's a double by the 19-year-old from Sandia, Texas, Reese Atwood.
And that ball doesn't curve at all, stays right in the middle of the plate. Atwood does a great job getting her barrel behind it, getting her power through, extending through, and beating the left fielder. Put herself in scoring position and putting some pressure on Japan.
Well, if you have any hope of coming back in this game, Sarah Gordon, and she's delivered some big hits. The University of Louisville star, who won't turn 20 until the 2nd of October, 11 home runs this year. She had 14 games in which she had more than 1 RBI in the game. Part of the first-year freshwoman All-American team. She can swing it. And they could use one here in the gap, maybe one out of the yard. And Sarah Gordon has 2 of those in this tournament. Came into the game hitting .538 and off her left foot. She tries to shake that off. You can tell that she is highly competitive too. They all are in different ways, and it's not everybody shows it a little different, but you can just sometimes almost feel an energy out of someone when you watch them play.
Right, she has that presence of a competitor, and you can feel it from up here in our booth.
And just missed it. Naito. The first hit, a double. Remains 4-0 Japan in this title game in South Surrey. Certainly a very large Asian community in Vancouver and area. And there's the Japan flags. And they are enjoying what they've seen from their favorite team and country this week. 4-0, 2 runs in the 4th. The big blow, Kanakudos. First hit of this game was a 2-run homer. There were no hits until hers in the 4th. And she's back up again. Kanakudo. And for her second stint, it's University of Utah star Maria Lopez, who is not a new pitcher, just a different pitcher. There's been a different Triple Crown Colorado. You're allowed to re-enter, even the starting pitcher. I remember at one point in the sport, you couldn't do that.
As a starting pitcher?
As a starting pitcher, you could not re-enter the game. You could re-enter everywhere else. Now, you got to go a long way back for it. Like, I'm talking late 70s, early 80s.
That adds strategy to the game.
Oh, it sure does. Not the case now. There's flex and all of those things. And Lopez is face 4. It's a perfect through the Japanese order the first go-round, and Lopez was a big part of that. Lopez, Cassidy Curd, Kirsten Deal out of the University of Oklahoma. It was 9 up and 9 down. And then the 2-run shot by Kudo, and they've just added 2 more. They have 2 hits, talking about Japan. But how many runs? 4. You make a mistake, they make you pay. There was a wild pitch that scored a run in the last inning. It allowed another runner to move to third. Ball driven the other way. Execution, execution, execution.
Well, we saw exactly that. Lopez be extremely successful in the first inning with her changeups, whether it was catching the batters off balance. And here she's getting a strikeout and a rollover ground ball to the first baseman, and that changeup is truly amazing and efficient for her.
Well, she has re-entered the game and looks as sharp, if not sharper, than she did in her 1 inning of work in the top of the first. She was the game's, in baseball, they now call them the openers. Reese Kawamura comes in to hit for Hitomi Kawabata. There's the change, but this time it's up. Maria Lopez out of Peoria, Arizona, in her 197 innings, struck out 206. So even me in simple math tells me that's more than 1 an inning. Had 10 strikeouts in a terrific performance in the regional tournament, a 4-team tournament. There are 16 of those to get to the Super Regional against Ole Miss on May the 20th.
And a couple things I've been trying to look at with Lopez throughout the tournament is her grip on the ball and how she kind of curls her wrist when she's in her windup. And as a batter, a lot of the times you can essentially pick a pitch or know what pitch is coming if you can spot the grip of the ball and how the pitcher holds it with her fingers. And her kind of curling it and hiding it can be pretty effective or hard for someone to identify what pitch is coming in. With the changeup, which is usually when you're able to pick a pitch, the easiest pitch to pick by the grip, she hides it very well. And that speed, the difference in that from her other pitches is incredible. And so any type of advantage that you would be able to essentially cheat in a way, she hides it very well.
And was very close to throwing a changeup for another strikeout. So it's the first batter that Lopez has faced that has earned their way on the walk, the 2-out walk. Risa Kawamura, 2 for 13 in the tournament. Really good defensive player. Minori Naito, Olympic gold medalist, had a good swing at that. Was right on it. The rise from Lopez. Still smiling and grinning, which is terrific. If you're a high-end American-born pitcher, you know about the U.S.-Japan rivalry in international sport. And if that's her last inning of this tournament, pretty easy to see why she had the type of year she had at the University of Utah and why they made their way to the Final Eight, the College Women's World Series. Bottom of the sixth, Triple Crown Colorado will bat when we return. Well, the youngsters are having a great time. We've had a great time. And she's back. Second straight night in relief. She's a legend in this sport in her own country. Her name? Most know her as just Ueno. Yukiko Ueno. Two-time Olympic gold medalist. Will turn 41 in her fifth inning of work here.
Well, we heard a little bit the crowd get loud when she came out, and again, just respect from all athletes, no matter what country you're from. You know that this is one of the sport's greatest, and you give her respect.
And a good swing by Mackenzie Wilson. 0 for 2 in the game, struck out. As Sakura Miwa gave up one hit in her 5 innings of work. That one hit in the last inning, a double, just out of the reach of left fielder Oturo Tsukamoto. Mackenzie Wilson. And giving the great Ueno a good battle.
And we've talked about before, and since we get to see her again, just the speed of her windup versus how fast the ball comes out of her hand. And for hitters, timing is everything. And it's a little difficult to see from the angle, but there's a big difference in the speed from the windup and the pitch. And that's many reasons. There are many reasons what make her great, but I think that's one of them.
Well, she starts with a strikeout on a letter-perfect pitch in the outside corner to get the left-handed hitting. Mackenzie Wilson is now facing right-handed Jackie Lease, who's come in to pinch hit in Talon Edwards' spot. Did you find yourself in awe, or were you able to kind of wipe it out your first at-bat against this woman?
Well, let me just place it real quick. It was 2018.
And Jackie Lease can say that she has a hit against one of the all-time greats. And Kanakudo did everything in her power to try to prevent it.
And I just saw her over there. Jackie Lee's kind of give herself a little double fist pump. Well deserved.
Kaylee Wickoff, the batter, takes a strike. Remember, this is someone who pitched in her first World Championship in the year 2002 in Saskatoon. What has followed? And she was sensational there.
A lot of girls weren't even born yet in this tournament.
5 World Championships. Three Olympic Games she's pitched in. Back-to-back gold medals because she won beating the United States in the gold medal game in 2008, and then women's softball was not a part of the Olympic summer program again until 2 summers ago in her home country. And she was the starter. Did get some help late in the game from Mio Gatto to close out the United States and win her second Olympic gold medal. And Wickoff had a quality cut at that rise ball from Waino.
And that gives her confidence as well. You go in there, that's Waino. And so you're able to catch up, you're able to touch the ball. That's confidence on its own. I mean, this is one of the best pitchers in the world, but she is hittable. We just saw that. So here's Gordon, fouls the ball off directly back. Not really solid. This one has a little more to it. So she is making an adjustment each pitch already.
One on, Lease has just the second hit of the game, and that's another hit. Back-to-back base hits off the legendary Yukiko Ueno. Nice attempt by Wee Nakamizo, and not even she could come up with that hot shot off the bat of Wickoff.
Again, proving that this Waino is human and is hittable, and Sarah Gordon does a great job. Maybe a mistake from Waino, and she capitalizes on it. And this TC Colorado team, every pitch and every inning is really impressive.
Gamble hit it hard. Kudo tossed it away. And the bases are loaded.
Another hot shot off the bat. The second baseman makes a great grab, just off balance, and throws that away. TC Colorado had a chance to score. Unfortunately, didn't think about it quick enough, but this is a rare sight to have bases loaded on Yukiko Ueno.
A little drama. And I don't want to take anything away from Triple Crown Colorado. This is not 30-year-old Yukiko Ueno. And she hasn't thrown a lot either. She's only pitched 4 innings here.
No, but she's here. She's here to compete. She's going to give a little extra because she is not letting a run score against her. And that's the thing about Team Japan is they may make an error once, twice, I guess 3 times we've seen. But are they going to allow it to affect them and affect the game as a whole?
Her second strikeout on Danica Coffey, who has more hits than anyone that has played in this tournament. Got a big smile on her face as David King goes through a scouting report with his terrific shortstop. And she'll face Japan again in early August in the Japan-USA series. And with Sis Bates right now as Team USA's starting shortstop, maybe not next year's World Cup for Erin Koffel. I will bet every dollar I have, albeit not many, that she will play for the United States in a World Cup or an Olympics. And Waino, I'd like to know the last time she's given up 3 hits in an inning. I'm sure it's happened. But will she give up a run? No balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded.
And again, from this vantage point that I'm lucky to have, instead of facing her, which I would prefer to be in this situation, that ball paints the corner. It just curves directly out of her hand almost. And I've talked about a pitch tracker, a hit tracker, and I would love to see it because it's so different than other pitches, as opposed to a pitcher that the ball comes out of their hand, goes straight, and then starts to curve with the spin of the ball. Hers almost directly out of the hand, hits the spot just out of reach of a hitter's bat.
1-2 with the bases loaded on Erin Koffel. Ball 2. One of the all-time greats against a young star. Hit it hard, but right at Wee Nakamizo. Maybe not what she used to be, but when it's on the line, Yukiko Ueno usually wins out. To the 7th. Maybe the final inning of this 2023 Canada Cup. Four to nothing. Erin Koffel with the bases loaded. One of the all-time greats. 43 feet away from home plate, Yukiko Ueno came into the game gave up 3 hits, and Erin Koffel hit a pretty solid line drive at her fellow shortstop to end the inning. Is Lopez is pitcher number 5 to work in the game. She's in her second stint. She started the game, and then each and every inning for 5, we had a new pitcher, and then she came back in the 6th. And the way she has thrown, and I love what Dave King has done. All of it. The different pitchers, giving them a different look. He changed his batting lineup very much, trying to give it a different twist against this Japanese team who right now has outscored their opponents here 77-5. But the way Lopez is pitched, you wonder just a little. And, who knows? If you just said, we're giving her the ball and seeing what will happen. But love the strategy, love the idea. And here's another thing I really like about what David King, the head coach and the head of the Triple Crown Colorado softball program, is he has given his young athletes and young pitchers a chance to play against this powerhouse.
Right, it's not a team that's going to come here and just get demolished. These are girls that are able to compete with the best in the world. And not only that, but we've seen them have fun and enjoy it. And
I need another look at this.
it looks like Lopez throws a changeup that she chases after.
And it gets away, and she's able, with her good speed, by the time Atwood. The reason I hesitated is because I thought I heard some contact. Agatsuma. All I can say again is very close.
Atwood bounces off this very well, bare hands it, digs her hand into the ball using the ground to kind of give her better grip, pushing it in, and they've been fielding the bunts very well off the Japan offense, which has speed and makes you want to rush it sometimes, and that was a good play, I gotta say.
Well, that should have to be scored a hit. A bunt base hit as Haruka Sumitani comes into the game to hit. There's that change-up from Mariah Lopez. Japan has been held. They haven't put another hit up on the board, but that has to be a hit. So it's only their third of the game. Triple Crown Colorado has out-hit them 4-2, and they're up 4-0.
And I guarantee after the game, if it stays this way, Dave King's going to make the girls turn around and look at that, because those are the little things that matter. And just being down there with the girls and him for a few minutes, the atmosphere is nothing but positive, and take this as a learning opportunity and go at it. Go after Team Japan, but he's doing nothing but encouraging these girls and putting them in great opportunities.
And University of Utah standout Lopez continues to work well at her craft. Full count pitch on the way, and change of pace. Too much for Haruka Sumitani to deal with. And there are 2 out in the top of the 7th. We have not gotten to this point, but I think well worth repeating. Part of all of this, too, Heather Tarr has just coached Team USA. No surprise, they just finished winning the first World Cup stage qualifier. They finished first, unbeaten. Australia came second to earn a berth into next year's World Cup in Butrios, Italy, where Japan, Canada, and Italy are headed to start their 6-team event. Another one's about to begin in Valencia, Spain. Heather Tarr will have eyes peeled on every game, and these young athletes from the United States vying to be a part of the U.S. national team. You can take that straight to any bank, whether it's in California, Mississauga, Ontario, or California, and everywhere else. And these young women have put on a show again.
They have. I mean, I'm so happy to watch because this isn't Team USA competing against Japan. These college girls, these young athletes are doing it on their own, and it's really great to see, and no doubt that Team USA will be watching this and making decisions based off of it.
Well, President Greg Tim announced today that there will be slightly different dates for this tournament next year, July 1st to July 7th. And I can only hope that we just might have the United States and Japan in a precursor to the World Cup. Mariah Lopez, the entire Triple Crown Colorado pitching staff holds Team Japan to 2 hits, and yet they trail 4-0. 1 at-bat left for a big inning. We'll show it to you when we return. Yukiko Ueno remains in the game. Took over in the 6th. And we could have a long debate. Be interesting to bring Mike Candrea up, who has coached the United States to World Championship titles, and Minori Naito. And that was a hot shot off the bat of Jalia Lassiter for the first out. So Triple Crown Colorado has come in and they have hit the legend, Yukiko Ueno, who will turn 41 years of age on day 1 of the World Cup stage qualifier. I believe her birthday is July 22nd. Almost through the wickets, and Kanakudo knew it. Look at her body language. She knew she maybe got away with one.
Yeah, her body comes up. You can tell from her facial expressions that she didn't stay down on that ball enough. She fields the play, but And you can see what I like about these TC Colorado girls. Again, their spirits are so high as they should be. They're playing with nothing to lose. They're out hitting Japan. Not a lot of teams can say that. And these last two hitters have put the ball in play, hit them hard, and they come back smiling. They have every right to be proud of themselves.
They have played a terrific game tonight. They've given themselves a chance. No hits for either team tonight through 3.
And again, these girls are the girls that are playing the game. But with David King, Coach King, his strategy, I think really made this a ball game for us, and that's incredible.
And so kind of him, standing at the dugout with a coaching legend. I wish I had that picture, and I mean it. And I wish I had it for you. You going down, learning about the lineup in the middle of the game, and there you are with the Olympic shortstop of Italy between David King, who's given so much to this sport and his program, and Mike Candrea, truly one of the all-time great coaches in this sport's history. I don't think I'm being, too complimentary.
Well, I went down there and I was like, hey, Coach Candrea, I'm here to get some intel. And he's like, what? I'm like, not from you, though.
Is it over? It's over. Team Japan. Perfect. 10-0. The legend. In to close it out. Yukiko Ueno, and a marvelous week of women's international world-class softball. Want to thank everybody, and I really, truly want to start with 3 people, and that's Luciano Lafrano, his wife Carol. They have just done incredible work. They're terrific people. What a pleasure to work with them, get to know them. What they do with the equipment, their work, spectacular. And they've already made a big difference in this sport. And so thank you to you, Amanda. It's a week, personally, I'll never forget. You're talented. You're highly intelligent. And I'll be cheering for Amanda Fama no matter what comes next for the rest of time. And I said to you this off the air, I'll say it on. I've done this for a long time, and this is not an easy thing to do. People think it is, to sit here and analyze, work with someone you've never known, understand them. And one of the great things about being in this business a long time is to work with great people who, in 1 week, what you have done in these broadcasts is pretty sensational. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You have made this a great experience for me. You're a terrific teammate.
Thank you, Peter. I enjoyed myself, and you helped me learn this process, and thank you to Greg Tim, and congratulations to Japan, of course, but to TC Colorado. So impressed. Really incredible what they have done, and David King over there, and congratulations to my former team, Italy. I'm very proud of them to beat Canada for the first time in a long time and place 3rd in this competition, and I can't wait to see what the future is for all of these teams.
Yeah, I agree. And, I'd extend that to Team Greece, and I was really impressed with Team Israel, who last night in an elimination playoff game gave Italy all they could handle. And you see part of the celebration is we're going to hand out the championship trophy, the medals, the individual awards. So we'll stay here till the trophy is given out. Shout out to Greg, of course, for having me back again for second straight year, and now I hope he can never get rid of me. I've enjoyed this again so much. Roberto Perez Leon. And Carla Reed is out there, and not sure if we can get a shot of Carla. She's kind of walking away from the rest of the group. But Carla, her work, and this comes from Greg, in every event like this, there are incredible volunteers and people behind the scenes who give so much. George Cover, George just happens to be in our booth, and he's a heck of a guy who I met at the qualifying tournament a few years ago. And Carla, every great team needs glue people. Carla Reed glues it all together. And it is a huge undertaking as you look at that beautiful Canada Cup trophy, the flowers, the medals. Been a sensational week here. The weather has been spectacular. Crowds have been great. I think Greg mentioned, didn't he, Amanda, that it might have set a new attendance record for this tournament.
I think he did, yes, he did say that.
This week, so that's terrific.
Given that, again, I finished playing this last year, but this is a tournament that European teams always want to be in, and unfortunately, Team Italy, with where we were funding-wise and leading toward the Olympics, we were never able to get over here. So to see them out here is a process, and they're looking forward to getting here every year now, I think. And with the group staging going on this last week and then this coming week, I think a lot of those teams that are playing now would be here at the Canada Cup if they had that opportunity. And so this really is a special tournament and can continue to get better and grow and grow and grow.
Well, this tournament moved up a little for next year. That was just announced. And while we get set for the presentations, it's exactly why it's been moved up. The 8-team World Tournament next year is in Italy again. That's where the upcoming third of 3 World Cup stage qualifiers is. This women's event is going to run from the 1st to the 7th.
When's Boxing Day for you guys?
Boxing Day?
Boxing Day. When is that?
The same as yours, on the 26th of December.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking about then.
Okay. But this tournament, moving up, and what it will allow Greg Tim and his great committee to do is, I think, even improve the field that we had this year. Because what a great way to come to Vancouver, leave here on the 9th, make your way over to Italy for the start of the World Tournament, which will be held from the 15th to the 21st. Hey, Nance, what are we doing next July 15th? Want to go back to Italy? Might not have to pull her arm too hard. Be great to be there. Be great to be calling that event next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony of the 2020
And let's let our great
women's division
public address announcer, Sebastian, take over here. And then we'll come back when it's done and have a few closing thoughts.
Gold medal final with both of these teams, Team Japan and Team Triple Crown Colorado. Congratulations to both teams for the amazing display of athleticism and sportsmanship throughout this event.
Médaillé de bronze, l'équipe de l'Italie. Bronze medalists, Team Italy. Marta Gasparotto. Laura Vinga.
Médaillé de bronze, silver medalists, DC, Colorado. Mackenzie Wilson. Alan Edwards. Haley Wigoff. Kirsten Deal. Jackie Lease. Ryland Headshot. Haley Morrow. Forgotten with us tonight, Jessica Owens. Batgirl, Tatum Mulline. Vivelo et champion 2023, gold medalists and 2023 champions, Team Japan. Nakagawa Ayane. Nakamizo Yui. Municipal Award for Top Picture presented by Mrs. Jackie Duggar. De l'équipe du Japon, from Team Japan, Miwa Sakura. The Susie Brasney Award for Top Catcher will be presented by Miss Susie Brasney herself, a longtime player, honored guest of the Canada Cup. De l'équipe TC Colorado, from TC Colorado, Reese Atwood. Our top batter award will be presented by Mr. Roberto Perez Leon, director. De l'équipe du Japon, from Team Japan, Kawada Inomi. De la meilleure joueuse défensive, Best Defensive Player, presented by Mr. Greg Tim, Chairman. De l'équipe de l'Italie, from Team Italy, Andrea Filler. Joueur le plus utile, Glenn Todd. The Glenn Todd Most Valuable Player will be presented by Mr. Todd's grandson, Lincoln Barker. De l'équipe du Japon, from Team Japan, Kudo Hanna. Vous avez normalement le capitaine de l'équipe du Japon venir chercher le trophée. We would now like to ask the captain of Team Japan to come forward as we present the Canada Cup Women's International Softball Championship Trophy.
And now, the championship trophy. There's the hardware. Kanakudo, I think a great choice for the MVP, and delivered the game-winning two-run homer in the final.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 Canada Cup medalists.
Team Japan. They were a perfect 10-0 this week. They outscored their opponents 77-5. And in their typical fashion, they did it with great work, terrific commitment, and excellence with a capital E. It has been a privilege and an honor to call the greatness that we have witnessed amongst 8 great women's teams who not only have represented them well on the field, but off. To everyone involved in this terrific competition, thank you. And as the sun sets, this night and this tournament belongs to the women from the land of the rising sun. So long, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed it half as much as we have. goodbye from beautiful Softball City.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas.
Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more.
The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now